Well, I don't know. It shut off. I wonder if my battery's going dead.
I mean, it shut off.
It just shut itself off. Or I think after a while of no activity, maybe. I don't know. Have we even come close to where we need to be?
I don't know. I didn't see that.
I don't think so.
Let me look. Will we pass? Well, we have to be pretty close.
See,
it was Bird Road.
yeah, and I didn't know this was still Lima Center either.
I didn't either.
Can Lima Center really be this big? Okay, so now we're at LJ Town Line.
Town Line. And Lima Center.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a street sign.
But you can see how anything could be out here.
500 block.
Okay, this is the 500 block.
It's got to be towards. Is it to Johnstown? Is that
Yes,
what it is?
that's what it looked like.
Yeah.
Almost in Johnstown is where this werewolf was seen. But that's only, what, 4 miles down the road? From the cemetery and where we saw Weird Boy. Just confirm for me what you saw when you saw Weird Boy.
Oh God.
Tell me your experience that day. Because I've told it and I have it on video, but you tell me what you saw and heard.
It was this.
Do you mind if I get you on camera?
That's right.
Okay.
It was this.
There's Jackie. She was with me when we saw Weird Boy.
We were driving like we normally would be out to the Bigfoot woods, and there was this. Well, we thought it was just a person walking alongside the road until we got up close to it. Had a flannel shirt on, long, dreadlocky, nasty hair. We drove, and it was just creepy. So we redrove. We turned around, drove by it again, and it looked at me with these terror in its eyes, beady eyes, weird, long canine teeth that were yellow.
What other color were they? Oh, come on. They were yellow and what?
Red? Were they reddish?
No. The nastiest teeth I've ever seen.
Oh, brown.
Brown?
They
Yep.
were brown and yellow.
And green.
And yeah, they were the canine, and he was dirty, and it was just nasty.
What kind of shoes did he have on? You remember because you said it.
Yeah.
And they were brand new.
Sandals.
No.
Right.
No?
No. Oh, God,
You
I
remember you said those are navy blue kids he had on. Remember that?
Yeah.
Slip-ons.
The slip-on. Yeah, because I made fun of him.
And they were new. His clothes were clean. Do you remember that?
He was filthy.
He was terrible.
But his clothes were clean. Yeah, I remember ripping on the shoes. They were like slip-on
Kids.
cats.
That is something that no guy that age wears.
Well, because it's queer.
How old do you think he was?
In his teens, if not any later.
Yep. And so then what happened?
So then what did we do? We pulled over. We were going to get him on film. We waited at that cemetery, and he never showed up. So we're like, what the hell? So we got back in the truck and went around, and we saw someone throw him in a van.
Yep. What did the van look like?
The van was white.
Yep.
So we proceeded to follow the van, which disappeared in the thin air. And we drove 70 miles an hour back towards Whitewater, and we never found it.
Yep. That's exactly what I remember.
I forgot about the kids.
And remember how long his hair was if it was wet, if it was washed and combed. It would have been like down to his waist, don't you
Yeah,
think?
he was just dreadlocky.
Matted.
Filthy.
It was matted, right?
Matted.
And it was hanging at like a ball at his shoulders. Remember that? But his clothes were clean.
Clean.
Now, is that strange to you?
The whole thing was strange. And he was walking out in the middle of nowhere, and then he was just gone. Just gone.
And then, what did we do when we first saw him? You and I both did it at the same time. We screamed?
We screamed. They were reaching for a camera. Why we didn't have one out is beyond me.
Well, we're going looking for Bigfoot, and all of a sudden you see this thing that is not a Bigfoot, but looks like a shapeshifter or a skinwalker. I thought maybe it was a skinwalker or a shapeshifter that was going to change back into a wolf and jump in the bed of the truck.
Yeah. Oh, it was.
And so I was scared.
And when you drove next to it, and it was right by the door, driving by it, I had this creepiest, scariest, overwhelming feeling. Whoa, it was just sick.
Yeah, because I thought at the time that he was looking at us with that looked like I know you and you know me.
Yeah.
And he was like,
He knew we were on.
yep, and he was acting like he was trying to scare us.
Yeah.
I think that was the purpose of the whole thing. And then didn't your friend at the post office also see a wolf during those couple of weeks around that time? Remember, in the road?
There was something, yeah.
You told him, he said he thought it was a wolf, but he couldn't believe that because there's no wolves around here.
That's right. He said there was something funky looking out in the field, coming out towards Whitewater. And it was, yeah, it looked
Yep,
like a wolf
in that same area.
in that area.
And my husband and I also saw a wolf in Milton as we were driving home.
right.
A couple weeks later, remember?
Yes.
And we had to stop the car
Yeah.
on John Paul.
That's right. A wolf.
And it was like a brown timber wolf, and it just trotted across the road right in front of us. If it had looked at me, I would have died. It didn't look at me.
Thank heavens.
Yeah, because it was just looking around.
Because then you would have really known it was on you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I still say that something was weird about that. I think it was just letting me know that it knew where I lived.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you think?
That you were, I think you were under it, or that
Yep.
you knew something wasn't right, maybe.
Yeah, and it's like, haha, I know where you live. Just like when, oh, now it's saying go east on County A.
We're to A already?
Well,
So we are in Johnstown.
yeah, why would it be?
East County Road
Okay, so now we're going east on County Road A. And we're still looking for where the werewolf was seen. And this story is that I got from another investigator whose son saw...
Continue on East County Road A for 1 mile.
Whose son saw a werewolf and came running in the house screaming that he saw a werewolf out in the backyard on Halloween night, and his mom and Kimmy said that it had to be just someone in a costume, and he said no. I'm telling you though, this whole area, 2 UW Whitewater students, did you read that, Jackie, the missing 411 stuff about the 2 UW Whitewater students that were found in the same corner of the quarry pit out there? They were drunk going home from a party within 14 months of each other, drunk going home from a party and walking, and walked to the farthest corner in the dark, 2 miles out of their way. If you read Missing 411, A Sobering Connection, a sobering coincidence, and they both jumped in at the same spot with 14 months apart. Does that make any sense to you, that a drunk college student
at the same spot?
and there's no streetlights out there, and they walked to the farthest spot when they could have gone over the gate and climbed right over a waist-high gate and gone right into the court if they wanted to. So this whole area is bizarre.
What would possess them to go there?
Yeah, that far out of their way when they're drunk, I don't believe
I
it.
don't think so either.
Yeah, so either they supposedly fell in or they jumped in.
They were lured in.
All right, you know what?
We're at the
I'm gonna shut this off because I'm not sure where we're at.
We're at the Prairie Woods Golf.
Yeah, we're at Prairie Woods now, and we're on County A, so I don't know how this is going to get us to...
Because Lima Center, we're no longer in Lima.
No. Oh, but it's going to take us there, it says.
Where am I going now?
Go right on North County Line Road.
That's coming up. Go right on County Line?
Yeah.
Well, that would take us to Walworth County.
And then we're going to come back on East Rye Road. That doesn't make any sense at all. And then go back down North Lima Center Road. Okay. I'm going to shut this off because we have gone the wrong way or something.
I'm just going to go left on the
Okay.
County Line Road.
Okay.
That'll get us back.
And then we'll get back there. But you can see how there is nothing out here at all. There's just cornfields and farms everywhere. And you know, there's so many stories of people seeing...
Turn right onto North County Line Road.
Yeah, forget you.
woman.
She's... Okay, Google Maps has us going in circles, and that's ridiculous. So we're going to do it on our own. We're going
We do
back...
better on our own anyway.
Yeah. We're going back the way we came because Lima Center is
Turn
not out
right
here.
onto North County Line Road. Richmond Johnstown Town Line Road.
No, forget it.
I'm not going right.
You know, and the thing is just down this road, a short ways on 89, I told you about the woman that saw a dogman run alongside her van.
Head north
Right?
on North County
Yeah.
Line Road. Richmond Johnstown Town Line Road toward Walworth Woods Road.
Okay, shut up.
Continue on North County Line Road for 1 mile.
And so she saw the dogman running alongside her van. If you watch the video of Laura Lee Davies, she talks about seeing a dogman popping up and running alongside her car for a couple of seconds and then jumping across the front of her van as she slowed down. And it was taller than the top of her hood. And then it ran off into the woods on the other side by just an open field. But you can drive around here forever because there's just nothing out here. And I just think it's the weirdest area. It's almost like a portal opened or something.
Lima Center does give you that eerie feeling. It just does. Gives
Yeah.
me that eerie feeling. It's
And
the
that's-
best on a full moon at night or no moon. Remember
Yeah.
that Easter, the night before Easter, we went out there all those years ago and the clouds opened up and the UFO came through?
Yeah, go ahead, tell us about it because you know what? I wanted to get your take on the story because I was with Jackie when we saw a UFO for 45 minutes.
Yes, we were waiting to see if anything would happen. Parked. No, we weren't making any noise. Of course, we didn't have any cameras or binoculars. Why didn't we?
We didn't have anything. We didn't have glasses.
We were pretty new to the whole thing.
Right. And that was the first night we were going to get out of the truck and go look for Bigfoot.
Now we're much
Remember?
braver. We don't care. We want to be abducted now.
Yeah.
Take us away.
We saw that UFO so many times we yelled at it and told us, come on, let's
Come
go.
on, take us. We're right here. But we were sitting outside the woods and it was cloudy. We're like, oh, nothing's going to happen. But lo and behold, the clouds actually parted. They opened up and this bright light came out of nowhere. It hovered over the woods. For
What did we
45
think it
minutes.
was at first? What did you think it was at first? When you first saw the
We thought
light?
it might be a plane.
Well, what did it look like?
It was round and it had a red ring around it and a blue ring around it.
And it was, what color was the body of it?
White.
Yep.
And then it would pulse maybe, but then it would just stay one side. And it sat over that woods.
Right by where we know Bigfoot lives. We won't say where,
We won't see where.
but for 45 minutes.
And of course, first we were scared. We tried to hide.
Yeah. Jackie actually was trying to hide under her coat.
Under my coat. Because it was Easter, so it was spring.
Yeah.
But it was still kind of chilly.
And we hadn't put our coats on yet.
And Don's like, do you really think it doesn't think you're here?
But Jackie wanted me to start the truck and get out of there, but I said the lights are going to come on, then they're going to get
And
us.
they're going to get us. And then back then, we didn't want to be God. But
No.
now we do.
Yeah. Well, we got so tired of them coming and not doing anything.
Not doing anything, just hovering.
And we chased it a couple of times. And that one time, of course, we ran into the baby fox and,
And that was
the
one of the,
puppy.
it was hot on its trail. And that's when we saw that weird stuff happening.
But when it was sitting there, it was there for 45 minutes, am I right? And
We just watched it just get bigger and littler. And
didn't it change shapes?
kind of it got cigar shaped and then it went back to round. Cigar.
And it was a bell shape at one
The
point.
bell, right, the bell shape. And it was always ringed in like red or blue.
And the bell shape, when it was a bell shape, had a red light under it.
Under it. Yeah.
And then it turned into the cigarette-like shape. And then it blinked out, blinked back on.
Yeah.
And then what did it do?
Then it just kind of went, when it was time for it to leave, whatever it did, it just like pulled back and was gone.
And remember though, it hovered over the duck pond for about 15 minutes?
Remember all the chaos we heard back there?
Yeah. Like all the geese?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, remember? Just before the UFO showed up, we saw orbs, big ones.
Big ones.
Like 10-foot ones, don't you think?
Yes.
Not as bright as the UFO, but more see-through? Do you think?
Yeah, they were weird. I don't
'Cause
even really know how to explain it, but they were...
There were, how many did you see?
Oh, boy. Maybe 4? Were they red at that time, or dark? They were dark color? They were weird. I don't even remember.
Yeah, because I said to you, do you see what I see? And you go, what, that big white orb? And I said, yep, that's exactly what I see. And then we heard the geese get all stirred up, remember?
Oh, it was like there was something down there, or behind the woods was the duck pond, and there, obviously there was a bunch of geese on it.
And it sounded to me like it was one got picked up and was being carried across by the creek to the back of the the Bigfoot woods.
Yes.
And then it sounded like it got killed.
Yeah.
It was
'cause
awful.
I was silent.
And then the UFO showed up.
Yeah.
Remember? And then after it hovered over the duck pond, it floated back and hovered over the Lima Marsh. Remember? And then it came back on what days every week for 6 weeks?
We would go out on Saturday nights.
Yep. 6 Saturday
And
nights.
it would appear. It was like clockwork. We'd think it was just a bright light that would just appear. And
From the same spot in the sky.
And it sat in the same spot. Yeah.
But then it wouldn't come as close. It started out by the duck pond and then went over by Lima Marsh. And then we'd lose track of it because it was so far away. And I remember that one time we chased it and it turned into like 2 red orbs. Yeah. And it ended up over by Koshkonong Mounds. Yeah.
Yep.
So, does Bigfoot pilot a UFO? What do you think? Or are they aliens? Or
I think they're in it together.
are the aliens investigating Bigfoot?
No, I think they're in it together.
Because we've been in those woods, haven't we?
Oh,
And they're not that big. And we never saw them until we got a picture of them.
Yeah.
But we found their footprints and cast them. We cast a lot of footprints.
Oh, many. That was fun.
Until they got wise to us
Yep.
and started hiding their footprints. Of course, we would sit out in the middle of the field, an empty cornfield, and cast their prints, so they had to be watching us.
We knew what we were doing.
Yeah. I remember when you found the 17-inch print and the 9-inch print over with the duck pond dried up.
Yes.
That year it was so dry.
Oh, yeah. I probably still have those.
Yeah, I still have a picture of you and those prints that you found.
I think I still have the casts.
And then we found a trail going through the muck there too. Remember those?
Yeah. And remember that trail you found way in the back on the other side of the road, like a toe was missing or something?
Yeah. It always looked like there was something wrong with the foot of that one.
Yeah. And those tracks started nowhere and ended nowhere. That was funky, the ones you found.
Yeah.
After a snow that one year?
Yeah, back there behind the Pilot's Woods.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right.
Where we're not supposed to be.
Yeah, where we're never supposed to be. But
Well,
always.
we could be in those woods because we don't know who owned them and we didn't ask.
And no one ever questioned us.
Yeah, no one ever said anything, but the pilot told us he didn't want us in there.
Yeah, so we respected that because he was nice about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, he said he didn't believe in Bigfoot, and because I know he hunts, because he has deer stands out there, and I just keep hoping one day he's gonna see, excuse me, a Bigfoot while he's up there in that deer stand. Don't you think?
Or if he does, if he'll tell us about it.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't, I'm sure. But he said he didn't believe in Bigfoot, but I asked him, I said, you wouldn't shoot one if you saw it though, would you? You know, trying to make sure that if he did see it, he wouldn't shoot at it. And he said, no, I wouldn't shoot at it. And I'm like, oh, good, okay.
Good. Yeah, thanks.
But I always think you're not a believer until you see one.
Most people aren't. They have to see to believe, but we always do.
Yeah. I mean, when you have so many sightings
There's just so many weird
in
things
one
that
area,
happen to us.
yeah.
That was crazy.
And then you go looking, and pretty soon it's like, oops. Now, where are we now?
We are
Are we back by the cemetery?
kind of. We're kind of back by, let me think,
Oh,
59.
59.
Yeah. Let me go straight and you'll know where we are.
Okay.
This might be where the boy,
The barn.
remember the barn? The empty barn?
Oh, the abandoned barn.
Yeah. That had stuff in it all the time.
Yeah, what did it have in it? Go on, tell us.
Oh, we saw so many orbs.
Because I don't think, it's one thing for me to say it and say that you saw it too, but when people hear that you saw the same thing I saw,
We would take pictures of an empty room and there'd be so much stuff on that camera lens, you wouldn't believe it.
all the orbs.
All the orbs and all the just weird shapes and stuff.
And then when we were,
We'd put jars with covers
yeah.
on in there and they'd be open and eaten.
cleaned out, right?
I know.
Who can unscrew a big jar with a big lid?
Pretty sure it wasn't a raccoon.
No. His hands are too little for a big jar like that. And I have pictures of those jars. And it was a really cold winter. What was it, 2012, 13?
It was
Something
below
like that?
zero for like 3 months in a row.
Yeah. And behind that barn, we found a trail of prints going through there.
Oh, some weird looking prints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you found the one with the toes in it in the front of the barn. Remember, and I took pictures of that.
Right, and then remember there was, like over in the pasture area, there was a shelter looking thing, and there was
Oh, yeah.
other funky stick structures.
Oh, the stick structure over the rock pile.
Oh, yeah.
And then I heard that they actually lift up rocks and look for rodents and rabbits and chipmunks and stuff like that. So I'm sure that's why it was claiming that rock pile.
Oh, sure.
Don't you think?
Yeah, but it had that weird structure in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, because if you walked across that field, you'd run into another pond. And that's where I think they took the goose and carried it across the creek and strangled it and ate it or something. Okay, so yeah, here's the trailer park.
The trailer park.
Whoa!
I don't know if I've ever...
What's the address here?
We're almost to 50 or N.
She said it was across from the trailer park.
'Cause
On
now
Lima
we're
Center Road.
This is county line. There isn't.
There was also a sighting. What's that other street? McMillan.
Is that way?
By the, you go past the vet. No, it's the other way.
Oh, it's the other way.
Yeah. There was a lady that had a sighting of a Bigfoot in daylight hiding in a ditch. Remember that story?
Oh. Yeah, she drew us a picture.
Yeah. And it was 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and she said it was cedar colored, and it had kind of the texture of a coconut. Remember?
She drew us a picture.
And she drew us a picture of it, and said that it couldn't have been anything except a Bigfoot.
Well, look at this old haunted house here.
Oh, yeah. It's just the creepiest area. Look at this stuff. Look at that house in there.
Can't even see it.
Oh, God. Murderers could live there.
There's dead bodies in there.
Oh, my God.
Why wouldn't you clear that? Who am I to judge? There's all kinds of little donkeys out there, though.
Are there?
Yeah.
Oh, there are little donkeys. Yeah, so